I had a thought. Robert, if we were in that situation, who would you choose?
Well, just like you and me?
Yeah, between us two.
Well, that's a very difficult situation, and that was what bothered me about this movie. I don't know if I could choose. Would I sacrifice myself? Would I vote somebody else to be killed? I'll tell you what, let's just let the viewers at home that are watching us right now, why don't we let them decide who should die?
Yes! I'm Elisa Irma.
And I am Robert. And today, we're talking about 2015's Circle. What's that about?
So it's about 50 strangers who are forced to pick one person to live.
It's a bit of a contrived plot where they all find themselves in a room, which makes the sets real cheap. They just had one set, and everything's black except for some red marks on the floor. And it seems they eventually, pretty quickly, discover that every 2 minutes, one of them dies. Now, so that's a lot of death. We won't go into too many details, but certainly most of those people die. Now, there's no blood. There's no gore, right?
No.
They basically die from a massive electrical shock. Pretty much.
That's it.
No eyeballs popping out, no intestines spilling out or anything like that. So it's not gory, and there's no blood. There's legit no blood.
Yeah, there's no blood that I remember seeing. If anything,
Why would there be? You don't bleed if you get electrocuted, right? The setting and everything also means there's no bosom alert.
Yeah, there's no bosom alert.
Nor is there naked man penis in the film.
In fact, nobody moves.
Yeah, they have to stay. If they move out of their little circle, zap, they get zapped and they die. So, I heard it was a little difficult scheduling the filming.
I could see why.
Because they needed all 50 actors to be there,
in one spot at one time.
All,
Yeah.
because they're in one room, so you can see everybody.
Right.
At least in the far away shots, everybody gets seen.
Yeah.
So probably the biggest name in this film is Julie Benz.
She plays the wife, right?
That's her name in the show. Is they call her the wife, right? Because some people had names, but some people they were known by their role, if you will, before, because they're all strangers and they meet in this room and they don't know how they got there really. The last thing I remember was blah 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 blah. Now Julie, I remember her from her role, recurring character on Angel on TV, as the vampiress Darla.
Yes. I actually watched Angel.
And she's got some, a bunch of credits. But this is an ensemble cast. There's 50 people in the room, and even though some of them die off earlier, than others, a lot of them basically unknown. I don't think I recognized anybody else other than Julie Benz.
Yeah, just thinking about it, no, I can't. I don't remember any of them.
But that doesn't mean they're bad. They're pretty good, and it's a very pure form of acting because they have to stay in their spot. They have to stay in their red circle, and they're talking to other people in the room, and they get into arguments and stuff like that.
Yep. But at the end of the day, they're playing people. They're playing a person. So it's just a little bit. I would assume it's just a little bit easier.
One guy's a cop.
Yeah.
One guy's a lawyer. One guy's
military.
He's like a soldier, and then there's old ladies and old men, and there's a kid, there's a pregnant lady. There's, so they all have specific roles. Which, by the way, let me say, this is another one of those microcosm films. So they've taken 50 sort of stereotypes throwing them in a room, and they have to interact.
Yeah.
But it's not just interact. This is like, it's like Gilligan's Island.
Okay.
If there were 50 people on the island, and somebody had to die every 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They learn that it's their choice.
They have the power.
They vote to kill. They can basically point with their hands.
Yeah.
They are voting. The warning sound goes off, and then we gotta vote. Otherwise, it'll be random, and I don't want to be the random death. So let's vote. And there's all kinds of rationalization, and it gets into all the political issues, ageism, racism, value in society, sexism. I don't know, what other isms are there? Moralityism. Yeah. No boozisms.
No boozisms.
But
no peens.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's only an hour and 27 minutes long. So if everybody's dying every 2 minutes, or if one person is dying every 2 minutes, it's fairly real time. You're watching a real time thing happen in front of you. And it's good that they didn't draw it out. I think I might have gotten bored if it went up closer to 2 hours, but it was watchable.
Yeah.
And it was not boring.
No.
And it was emotional.
Yeah.
It was not really scary in a typical horror sense. You feel a little, you identify with, and you feel a little horror for some of the people.
Yeah.
But again, the deaths are clean and quick. Basically instantaneous. It's very cerebral movie.
Yeah, and honestly, you don't feel bad for the deaths as it goes on. I mean, eventually, sure, but as it goes on, you kind of understand why everybody makes their choices.
Well, the early people that go,
yeah,
I don't even think they speak. The first one to die, I think she just steps out of her circle and she dies. So there's no time for character development. And obviously the ones that live longer, you begin to empathize with them.
Or hate them.
I hated some of them, sure.
Yeah. Some of them I was like, they should have gone sooner. Just saying.
Wishful thinking. Filmed in 10 days. Like I said, in one set. I mean, they used a location at one point, but we won't go into that. But 98% of the movie is a one set location.
Yeah.
And there was only one. So what that does is that cuts down on goofy things and inconsistencies and camera errors and stuff. However, sharp-eyed viewers can see. So there's a console made out of I don't know, looks like black plexiglass or something in the middle. That's what the lightning bolt shoots out of.
Yeah, looks like an eyeball, looking at you.
I mean, not literally like an eyeball, but it's there right in front of you. And sharp-eyed viewers can see the reflection of a camera and a camera operator in it at one point. It's not very obvious, but I'll allow it.
If you're looking for it, then you'll see it.
Yeah. Inspired by the old film 12 Angry Men, where a bunch of jurors get locked into a room to debate on whether the person on trial actually committed murder or not. The director was very plain about that. So what he did was he made it bigger. He went from 12 up to 50, and then he kills them off too while he's doing that.
Yeah.
That's a classic, famous movie.
I watched it a bunch of times. In class, in school. Just saying.
I watched it for fun.
Why would you watch it for fun?
Because I'm a fun guy.
You're an old guy.
Silver Fox. Lines from the movie.
And the lawyer says, I'm not homophobic or anything.
And the atheist says,
if there is a God, he doesn't give a shit about any of us.
Truer words. Pumpkin rating time. Circle. Netflix produced.
I like the plotting of it. There is no gore, so horror-wise, I'd probably say 2 or 3.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty unique movie.
Yeah.
I'll go with 3.
I think it's intelligent. I think it's an intelligent movie, and even though it's not gory, there is an uncomfortable feeling because you get to see, how people decide, and you wonder whether you would decide that.
And I liked it in spite of the fact that it's an intelligent movie.
Yeah.